honestly, to be blunt, being, black and brown in this country, and looking at, the systemic racism and where that all, stems from, and why, even being someone, being a person of color, I'm half black, and not really even understanding that about my own culture, that why were we in the situations and the positions we are currently in, not knowing any of that through my entire upbringing, and just learning that in the last 5 years, maybe. And so you realize that it's not an achievement gap thing. It's an opportunity gap.
Yeah.
It's not equitable in terms of the opportunities that, white students get versus, black and brown students receive. And I can vouch for that. I mean, I went through that and I still didn't understand it. And I went through it.
You didn't understand the marginalization that
didn't have the words, didn't have the language around it. And I wasn't thinking about that, being in middle school, like, systemic racism. Like,
right.
I didn't not know those
critical
words.
race theory.
Right.
Hell no.
I don't know nothing about that stuff.
Yeah.
And so to have this, this whole new world opened up in terms of, understanding, what my father went through, what my mom who came to this country went through. It's something they didn't talk about when I was growing up. Not sure why. I don't know if it was a protection thing, but
well, the system kept it silent.
Right. Well, yeah. And I mean, I don't know if they were just like, we're just working to, support our kids, make sure that, they do well.
This is our lot in life.
Yeah.
This is it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's almost like they just kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
And didn't, really have those types of conversations, didn't talk about race growing up. And then, being a part of the DEI consortium group and going through race, equity, inclusion training and, learning about the things that we didn't learn in school really has brought in my view and my outlook. And I know I've done some things that would be considered, appealing to like white supremacy culture, like doing professional dress workshops with our scholars who in our program predominantly identify as Black or Latinx.
Okay.
And, not thinking about like identity and intersectionality and, what professionalism really means and where does that come from and why is this deemed professional and why is, this hairstyle not knowing that and doing those workshops. I was so ignorant to that.
It's so much.
And then when I come to realize this and learn do you understand like what that, when you're doing these professional dress workshops, what that means and who defined professionalism? I'm like, oh,
you can't not see it once you see what you've done. You can't not
unsee it. Yeah.
You can't unsee it. You can't and people call that woke, #woke. Call it woke.
Whatever it is.
Like you can't unsee it.
I was really, in a sense, you're kind of almost ashamed. Like, why didn't I know that? You don't want to admit that, oh, I didn't really understand that. It's like, Mako, you're Black. Like, why didn't you know that? But then, talking to other, either mixed race people or other Black friends and colleagues and saying, there's still some stuff that even over this last year that I've learned about Black people in this country that I didn't know growing up either. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not
heavily
the only one.
concentrated this last year. If
Yes.
No matter what side of the aisle you're on, all of us got an education in some way.
Yeah. So definitely this last year. And like I said, in the last, 3 to 5 years, I've really educated myself and become more comfortable. Although I'm still working through some of the things, being biracial and that conflict, but just being more comfortable in my skin and owning it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I want for our students in the program, is to see that as an asset for them as well. Like being, be proud of who you are, where you're from, and use that as an asset, because that makes you unique. Nobody has your same, story. And I want them to use that as kind of this empowerment tool as they're out there engaging with, employers and, pursuing their dreams.
Because by identifying this, seeing it like you came to the aha moment, it puts that value, it takes the devaluing away. And they start coming and they're like, oh, and then they start searching for and start understanding more about their own power and their own authenticity of who they are.
Right.
That's not easy to come to terms with.
It's not.